So unafikiria hii ndio ulifanyaga kuna time unajua sasa si wale tulikuwa tunakujua kunasikiaga tu kapao hatapendi maboy napenda mtu madem.
Wacha.
You ilitoka from you because unajua as a girl if
Iko Nini.
ukiseti boundaries that's bound to come up.
Okay. So unafika huko unaweka kamera chini una connect na microphone alafu unasema I'm here to collect vox pops. Do you know how difficult it is to collect vox pops?
So hard.
Kenyans will walk up to a record, like a place where there's a camera, right? You will not ask them to stop. They will stop. They will be looking like this. Then you'll be like, I want to ask you about I mean, it's in a maoni. Then what the fuck are you standing?
Why are you here? Iko Nini. Episode 489 tukisema like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Na leo tuko na mtu jo ahitaji introduction jo. Yaani kauji Kwambox jo tunachungua. Umekuwa wapi?
Outside the box.
So niaje?
Niko fire.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much by the way for inviting me.
Si ndio tumebambika sana kukuhave hapa. Na pia nili have fun kwa show yenyu. So alafu this is the interesting thing. The last time vile ulikuwa kwa mic check, the first thing mulibonga juu yake is the way I was here shooting with Maria, alafu tukambua Kwambox amequit. Alafu tukuzile amequit. Shit, I was like damn. Anago independent. So why your rumor ilitoka happy first? Like why do you think that rumor was there? Because there had to be something that made people think that you are planning to quit.
So hata hakuna ati how's the weather. Let's get ready to it.
Because last time ulianza na hiyo kwa mic check. So I need to start with that.
Hakuna chesa.
Okay. Sawa. So I think everybody has a time when they just reach a place where you're kind of tired of the routine. And I feel like for me, media ilikuwa imefika a place where I knew that I needed to do something different, right? When I started doing radio, that was 2006, right? No, 2016. What am I saying? 2016, right?
Yes, okay.
I had tried to be on radio for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Nilikuwa na audition, maze, and nobody wanted my vibes. But finally I got on radio. So I did that with so much passion. But I feel like for a long time, it was the passion that was driving me.
Yeah.
Right? And eventually when I was doing the pros and cons, I started to realize that every morning I'd wake up. About 3 years ago, I was done. I was tired. I was done with radio. But I felt that connection with my audience, and you know, somebody every day when you finish the show, guys are like, yo, Kwambox, what do you think? Da-da-da. So you kind of get caught up in that sort of cycle, right? And when you're making decisions, because like when I left Vibes Radio, I wrote a long letter to myself and I said, you know, congratulations. You've done your part. Yeah. And now move on to the next thing. But here's the interesting part. 30 minutes after writing my resignation letter to Standard. And I remember, not to get into details, but during that process, when you're making that decision, you want to quit a job, it can be very jarring in your mind, because you're like, radio is sort of an identity. I don't know about accountants.
Yes.
Do they go to the band and be like, my guy, you know, you're equating this thing like an addition and you're subtracting this to row, my guy. What must this thing? I don't know what if it's part of their personality. But for media guys, it doesn't end with the microphone. So even as you go home or as you're doing your things, you're still thinking as a radio person. So when I wrote that email, it took me a really long time. So it's like 2 months of not going to work. I'd taken a sabbatical leave, whatever.
Uni standard,
yeah, because things were flying off the shelf, and I kept letting my employer know even before we got to that, you know, cliff edge thing, that my guy, I don't know, I feel like we're going off the cliff, and you have your superiors who are telling you, girl, you're killing it, my guy. Just focus on your part, play your part. And I feel like that's part of the problems of being in a big establishment.
Yes,
that you're just a cog in the wheel. And so I wrote to my superiors. I passed my current superior, went to the GM and just be like, hey, I think this is what we can do. Go to the CEO, I think this is what we can do. And eventually you're like, nah, si kampuni ya mama yangu. So it took me 2 months to sort of let go of Vibes Radio consciously. And then I made that decision. 30 minutes. I remember I wrote the email and I went to the shower. I came back. I have a missed call from Kafafa.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, and I knew at that moment, because I was like, God, me, niko ready for the next thing. So when I made that decision, I was like, and then this call came, I was like, God, is that you? You know, so I did the 2 years in radio, but I knew I couldn't do more.
Yeah. Okay, so nini, because vile umesema uli get call from Kafafa and can expect iya anasema gai fafa.
Jesus Christ.
You can accept. Oh, okay.
You're
So
sasa.
in 2 months, hakukufire? They just let you like take your sabbatical?
So it was a very, I think everybody had, you know, when a company is going through tumultuous times, I think employers usually expect the talent or their team to weather the storm.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, maybe 4 out of 10 of the team believes, or maybe 3, if you're lucky 4, right? Believe and they say, hey, we're gonna weather this part out. We can do cut of salary, we can miser, but we'll get to the main goal. But then 6 out of 10 are just like, I swear to God, tempt me with another job. I'm out of here. And this is something that employers need to understand, that when you're in a tough situation, all of us gotta start acting like things are tough.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
Junior stuff.
Yeah. And then on top of that, when you tell me, let's imagine we're in a boat, because I speak in figurative. Let's imagine we're at sea, right? And you've been the captain all along, right? Si tuko hapo nyuma ma drinks nini cheers, let ice cubes zimeisha and then kidogo you start telling us we were heading to somewhere. Then you tell us we've met some storm, right? Okay, and then you say, so me I'm like, na hii boat siwezi kaa. Let me start calling for help. But you say, no. As the captain, you guys just relax. ... Tell us what the plan is. We need the plan so that I know whether I should call my emergency helicopter boyfriend to come pick me up from this wreck or stay with you, because I can see you have a plan of how to get past this cloud.
Or dive.
Or dive in. Umeenda kuchukua ice cubes hapo ndani ya maji. Yeah, so I think that's a very key thing that was my experience. I realized that I think in tough times, employers need to also come up with a plan and then ask me, chill for let's do this. I feel like if we do this, we'll get. But don't tell me to chill if there's no plan.
Okay, na ulijipataje huko, because 1 minute tuko Homeboys, alafu the next minute tuko like in a reggae station.
Yeah.
So really happened.
So when I was at Homeboys, I did Homeboys for close to 8 years, right? And remember, I had tried for 10 years to be on radio. So interestingly, just to give you a backstory, so when I was in Big Brother, a lot of people saw me. We did a project for radio. So a lot of people across the continent saw me doing radio. And I didn't realize that my future employers were watching, right? So one time I was doing an interview at Homeboys, and not as a presenter, as a singer. Amina called me, we were talking about my music. And then when we finished the interview, John called me and said, hey, I think you're a great radio presenter and I want you to do the drive show. Can you start immediately? Just like that.
Okay.
So I think because of that, I gave Homeboys my life. And I feel like even today, my radio is always dialed to Homeboys. I feel like I still bleed Homeboys, right? I love that place. I love every single person that I met there, even the ones I didn't like. But I feel like it's a family, right? And have I experienced that again? No.
Okay.
Right? So I think everybody will tell you that Homeboys was a place where we were free to create, right? But then I was comfortable. And for me, comfortability is not, it means that there's something that's not getting done.
Yes.
Right? So I knew that here my time had come. And I fought it. Again, I fought it. I didn't want to leave. I had a good thing going. My MCing career was going good. Like, what am I doing? And then I resigned. So I just resigned. I refused to when
Before, will you resign before Vibes?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Damn, okay.
I had Radio Africa had bought Homeboys. And they were getting new contracts. I just said, no, I don't want a contract. Yeah, I think I want to try something different. And so a few offers came, and I thought, out of all, I wanted to build a new audience. I wanted to prove to myself that it's not just the brand Homeboys. It's not, you can entertain an audience that you found, but can you start a new audience? Can you create a following? And that's why Vibes. Yeah. And it was a different, I like the challenge. I mean, I think everybody who saw me at Vibes could tell that I was excited for the challenge.
Nini zako za
Kapow,
everything.
Yeah.
So that for me was every morning I woke up, I spent so much time studying reggae music, studying it, understanding the greats. I actually, because of that, I have so many friends who are iconic reggae artists.
Yeah,
who we are now, because of my stint at Vibes Radio, like I went in. I gave it everything, and when time was up, I said thank you, and I.
Mof was also at Vibes Radio.
Yeah, I nearly karibu nipata job Vibes.
Everybody told me this story.
Yeah, so I always get so feel power because they called me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like if I'm chilling somewhere, don't call me, offer me something and then tell me to fuck off. I always feel ni kama mtu amekwambia like umechill tu alafu akakuguza kwambia hi how you doing, fuck you, and alafu
So they gave you
that's how
different vibes.
But ilikuwa nini ilikuwa poa. Alafu now ikikam to was a lower factor for you because normally kile nilikuwa nafikiria ni umepochiwa, so ukipochiwa what I know is normally unapatiwa like a certain salary that's ina move from this tax bracket to the next.
No. I've never, and I'm being quite honest, I've never, with radio, I've never looked at radio as, I'm going to be rich, bitch. Nah. I love radio, right? And I think it's a testament for the first time people saw my tears. When I was leaving radio, the last episode was quite hectic because... you're at the cusp and then saying, you've been running up that hill and then you've gotten to the top. Now you're like, whee! You guys are like, what the fuck? This is what everybody works towards. I remember going to school, listening to Carlin Mutoko, and I'd be sitting behind my mom's car saying, that's going to be me one day. Yeah. But I didn't know. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't think that I even had, nobody was listening to me. I didn't have oratory skills at that point because I wasn't, people knew I could talk, but I think I didn't have that sort of internal metal to understand that. You see all those things you knew about yourself when you are 8, you are 7, you'd look at somebody go like, I'm going to do that, right? And a lot of them, I've seen them come to fruition and I'm like, oh my God, I said this when I was a kid. So with because it's that pure for me, I've never really thought about the money. Yeah. And even when I joined Homeboys, a fun fact, I had another job. So I was my company.
Yeah.
And we were doing, I was good. I never used to look at the salary for like 2 years. That was coming from Homeboys, right? And then I let that go, and then now I'd be there at the HR's office going like, "Manega, ni 30th, my guy," and he's like, "Ngoja paka 14th," right? So money has never been a factor.
So that's when nikuuliza hizi figures. So let's talk some figures like salwa nini ilikuwa gani ya Homeboys. Hata mimi wasa najua gani nilianza gawa FM. I used to get 18 Gs.
What?
Yes, at Y.
Yeah.
Like shit. Alafu naambia tu
Hiyo ni fair.
place nilisikia uchungu.
Like
Place
transport.
nilisikia uchungu ni when I discovered that Nonini at the time tulikuwa tunadu like the same nini alikuwa anapata 60. So I was like, damn, this dude is 3 times plus another third on top.
Kwa nini?
Najua. But nika understand. I was so excited because nilikuwa nimetoka tu kampo hivi. Then I'm called for this job. They offer me the first salary. I don't even negotiate. I'm like, let's go. Na check it. So baadaye ndio nalani because zile za I should have negotiated or at least I should have so hiyo yako ya kwanza because you're happy.
So
umeenda pale ujaitisha job umepatiwa job.
So I'm going to be honest. I never talk figures about anything. You know why? I think I've been cultured. Even I've seen in Nigeria, where I've seen people talk money, cash like this, right?
Yeah.
But my inculcation is so crazy that I feel like I'm talking about sex, talking about, like porn when I'm talking about money.
Money is intimate.
Yeah, I have. There's a day my co-host asked me. I think like for a whole month, he'd keep asking it in different ways. Kwambox, is there anybody who knows how much you make? And I say, what kind of bumbleclats? Iko Nini, my guy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Right? I don't have a spouse. Right? Like I'm not gonna date you and be like, oh my God, you know what? Actually, nipatilie yo maji. Unajua niko na how much? No, it's never gonna come up. So so money has never been a thing that I
But it's good money. You know, if it's bad money.
Yeah, you go bad money.
But bad money and good money is relative. All I'd say is that when I started out, I was... Remember, this whole thing has never been about money.
Yeah.
But then after 8 years, I realized that, hold up. People make, because I'd hear figures that, other presenters, even till today, they're figures. People think I make, I don't know, 6-10 figures, right? Y'all need to leave it anonymous so that they can be like that. But when I was at Homeboys, kuna siku ingine walikuwa wamefanya sijui top radio presenters, blah, blah, blah. And that time we've come from doing a dope show because it was me, Mike, and Jeff first. So we used to have so much fun. And then me, Mike, and Carrie. Another dope, awesome, therapy, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm just like, yo, guys, nimepambana na traffic, right? And then you open the Nini at Nani is earning 1.5. So like, for this thing that they're talking on the microphone, oh, okay, cool. Shit! I'm being exploited.
Yeah, and I do feeling.
But not exploited. So then I went to renegotiate. That was actually the first time I went to my employer and said, hold up, wait a minute. I've never actually sat down and thought about the amount of money that I make for you and the amount of money that you owe me. And so he was like, oh, okay, shit. Yeah, we could do that. So yeah.
Hakuna kuargue.
No, we didn't argue. I mean, he did want to... People are weird about money. People are weird about money.
Yeah.
So I just went direct and I was like, yo, me.
Nah, this does not.
But I went with figures. The show was making X amount of money. When I came, it was making X amount of money. So yeah.
At least nibaki umeni boost. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So So I think the moral of the story there is if you're going to your employer saying, hey, I need a salary raise, show just cause.
Yeah. Okay.
But then there's somebody who asked me, but then if the team is not delivering, but you're giving it 100, right?
What happens?
How does the employer see? That's a great question, Kwambox, you've asked yourself. What it is, standard. I experienced that. I was killing it, my guy. I was killing it. So I had targets for myself. I set them. I was not able to meet some of the targets that I had for myself, but the company and the team were happy, but I wasn't. And I agitated. And I feel like a lot of the times when you agitate, I feel like some of those colleagues would probably think I'm a bitch, which is okay. It's part of life. But I don't think we got to the targets that we needed. Yeah.
I think watu jua, like at the end of the day ukienda home, amkufika hapo, so hakuna mtu ata feel like you're a bitch, because ni ile story if we do good ama if we do better, we all do better, you see.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. I feel like some teams are different, but it was a great team as well. I feel like so far I've worked with great teams. I've had challenges, but so far we've had great teams. We're always going to have creative differences. That's for sure.
Yes.
Especially interns. I'm sure there's a bunch of interns who've worked with me who are watching this one. They're like, that bitch, right? Because I have high expectations of how we're going to be able to achieve great results.
Yeah. Oh, hiyo ni funny because when you talk of that, majuzi kuna kitu fulani may happen ile you also told me you've gone through the same thing where you shoot a whole podcast and then you check and you find out you don't have any audio. Sindio? And I remember like I was having the discussion with my nephew because my nephew is the editor. And I was telling him like, dude, if you're working in mainstream media, you don't have this space.
Yeah.
The space for mistakes.
Yeah.
And I felt like he didn't understand me. Uza try to explain out of the mainstream media, there is no space for.
No.
Like the expectations zako zinakuwaga hapa. The only thing like hapa chini ni salo. Like in the expectations umewekewa, like there is no room for error.
Yeah.
You raise standards.
And you do so much. Like you give so many hours of your time to this job. And it's so sijukaa kusema unthankful ama kitu kama hiyo, like how do you put it, but you experience yako ilikuwaje, like did you used to awa nyewe kwa mnapatiwa space like ukimake mistake wanakupata on the back like oh sorry you made a mistake?
All right, so at Homeboys, me, I'm just gonna be honest, at Homeboys, first I want to take this moment to just look into the camera and say thank you to John Rabba and the whole team at Homeboys. I feel like everybody will attest that we had the freedom of creativity. The 2 times that I've said an F-bomb on air was at Homeboys, and it wasn't one. I was annoyed, right? So it came from the esophagus.
Yeah.
The second one, it was excitement. I was like, what the fuck? On air, right? I feel like if I was at any other space, from my experience, I would have gotten a reprimanding, but not at such spaces. At Standard, I think the boat was rocking a lot. So we there was, I feel like maybe I had the most freedom at Vibes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because 99% of the radio that I was doing, I had never even imagined I could do a link for like 10 minutes. My guy, a 10-minute link. Yo.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
you're used to
with one caller. You know what I'm saying? Like a caller just said, Kwambox unajua nini inafanyika hapa Timboro wamekata miti for 10 minutes straight, right? So I think I had those freedoms. But then when I got to Radio Africa, there's a guy called Pete, right? Let me tell you, I knew I wasn't going to repeat this shit, okay? I knew this is the end of radio for me. Because, and yeah, because...
You quit radio to join Radio Africa.
Pete was at Radio Africa, right? So he would manage the talent. And you know, umemaliza show hivi?
Yeah.
Now let's discuss the show. The show that you've just done.
Yeah. Inilo mnachezoga mpaka link.
Hey!
Shit, I know that one.
You know that shit?
Yeah.
You know that shit,
And it's
right?
annoying as fuck.
My guy.
Yeah.
Okay, sasa hapa pale umesema annoying as fuck. Wewe unasikia nikai na bamba.
Najua girl shit.
As you just finished the show. Yo. So, initially, a lot of people fight it, right? You fight that correction. But then what I did, I said, me already in my mind, I knew, hapa niko 2 years. So, I'm going to learn what I need to learn. Yeah. If this is the structure that maybe I haven't, because all the places where I've been, I've been winging it. And I've gotten this far, you know, with that. Now, what would be if I could add this structure? So I hate it, but I added it. And now I see the value even in my personal life of how I structure thoughts. And but I hated it. So there was no room for error. Man, kisa kuko nata. Yeah, nikifungua tu mdomo hivi, nikianza show, najua every single topic I'm going to discuss.
Yeah.
As I start this show, I know which link is going to be where. Yeah. So
I think your story, your structure is where like I was trying to teach my nephew. Kunamwambia like there's a reason why you're told do this and then do this and then do this, especially for sisi wale we've been in the game for long. So even for you, maybe ukiangalia Peter kunaangalia, he's been in the game for long. So najuaga like the first step, do this, then do this. Why? Because it works. Instead of being, I'm a Gen Z, they are very free. And it's good and bad at the same time. It's good because it gives you a certain level of freedom where you can experiment. But it's bad because the room for making mistakes is too much.
That's true. But you know, funny enough, I don't think it's a Gen Z thing. So I think it's a, like I said,
yeah.
I went into that space I was called. I didn't. I could have gone like,
Yeah.
mi sikuwaambia mkuje kunitafuta. Si mmekuja mmenitoa pali nilikuwa. So why are you trying to, I could have fought the change. I could have fought it. But then I sat down and I asked myself, in that moment of being very angst, like, what the fuck, kumse anafikiria ni nani, shit, I've had a good show. Like, as guys, bloody bombo clat. But then I went and sat down in that, because in that moment, you also want to ask yourself, okay, why are you so emotional about this? It's because it's like somebody has shown a spotlight on your deficiencies, the things that you don't have.
Yes.
And it's not the easiest thing to accept. But then I ask myself, do you want to be better? Do you want to be, if this is what it takes for you to be, internationally great,
Yes.
why not learn it? So, and the company is not going to stop these things. So adjust your mindset. So I adjusted my mindset and it worked. So a lot of people are not willing to adjust the mindset. You can go in there and just be like, this guy, or whatever. If the company says, now from today onwards, we want to implement this. And you are like, as we're professionals already, you can fight it. But then you can also ask yourself, hey, if I do this, what benefits are there for me? Yeah. So people don't like structure because it holds you accountable.
Okay. Yeah. Alafu cha tubongeje hiyo, like, cause hii story yote pia ili come from the fact that uko nasema usha lose 5 shows so far. 5 shows, cause mimi lose show moja. So ilikuwa on Sunday. So on Sunday 6th of July we shoot a show. Ilikuwa mimi na kina RAPCHA tumebonga juu ya sabasaba, tunajua hii ina drop on sabasaba, so even talking like leo and then afterwards wakishamaliza press stop, okay imemaliza Waire jua kali nameless we do 3 hours, then at the end of 4 hours naangalia iko like I have 0 audio and it depressed me, like ilini depressed zainingine. I had to find out like what happened. Then that's when I noticed that it's a cards thing. Like kuna vile, if you move a card from this place to this place, it ends up confusing the whole system.
Yeah.
So now after that, I always had the backup mics, but I never used them because najua like it's too much work.
Yeah.
Tuanishize mics.
You're over micing it.
Yes. After hapo sasa, so that happened, and then what happened? Nikachukua nikaambia sekwa show. Like I lost this show, then people offered, like a lot of IKONINI fans were like, I can try and clean that. Then kuna boy flani wetu iko Masaiza Virginia anaitwa Brayo, so he cleans the show good enough for someone to listen to. It's not as good as these mics, but good enough. And then sasa napatia the nephew like, damn, show imekuja, wacha since wasona sama they want to watch it even with bad audio. Then you go like, oops, there's no video, I deleted the video. Like so that happened, and it was one of the most painful things because I ended up buying software. Nilibuy mpaka software ya kurecover. Inaitwa Wondershare Recover It. This it recovers, yes, files you may delete, but not the ones you want. So somehow I was able to recover the shows that I don't want. Alafu so I just gave up. I was like, imeenda. But sasa nashindwa yako. The first time it happened, because me now nilijua shida ni nini. Like right now, if you ask me what the problem was, I know the specific problem, why it happened, and why it's never going to happen. Sikuzi hata nikidu show lazile like my reaction videos I mic nakuwaga na 2 mics. Yeah, after that shit I was like
never again.
Yes. So yako, the first time it happens,
I think that's a great question. So I started podcasting 2018.
Yeah.
That's when I did my first podcast. Then I took a break. I shot another show, but then the production guy disappeared with the footage. I mean, everybody has a story. Everybody has an origin story. Or should I say, every villain has an origin story.
That's what I was thinking.
So this guy, so 2019, I decided let's start the podcast. So we started 2021 Boxport. So, but I was still doing radio and breakfast radio. So I have to create 20 hours of content And then I have this thing that I want. I was telling him, therapy is expensive. Therapy is expensive. Okay, I don't know whether you guys believe in therapy, but unajua sisi kama watu wenye tunaishi peke yetu lazima tutafute mtu wa kuongelesha. Okay.
So ulikuwa unaenda therapy?
Vegio, no. I try to intermittently go for therapy.
Oh, okay,
intermittently.
okay.
So when I feel like I have something I want to unpack, but si ati mtu tu wa kuongelesha ati guess what leo nani amenibo hapana. If I'm like, I feel like for example, if I'm having a tough time at work, you know, I'm feeling like I'm not gelling with my team, right? And it's an individual thing that you're feeling, and the team is not, and you're trying everything. Like, how are you going to, am I just going to be like, fuck this jobo, and then be just showing up half-heartedly? I don't do that. I show up 100. So I have to go try and figure out how I'm going to deal with these people. As we digress.
Because I heard nyi watu mnaishi peke yenu. Mkiingia kwa nyumba, the next time you'll talk, it's the following day.
Lakini squeeze najongelesha. Squeeze najongelesha. Real talk.
Plus kuna technology squeeze. At least you can talk to someone. Kitambo, damn.
Hiyo ya AI.
See, technology, I mean that you can call your friends, you can talk to someone at least.
In this world where everybody's ukipigia, do you like phone calls?
Yeah, actually, I'm a fan of phone calls rather than text.
Thank you, Mzai. Unapenda phone calls ama text? Like if somebody just randomly calls you, you be like, niaje?
Inadepend on watu wale nimezoeana nao. Yes, if it's a stranger, I'm always like, keep this shit short as possible. But mabesi zangu,
because I received a phone call like leo subuhi, like 4 a.m. in the morning. So I was debating, do I pick it? Ama niache?
4 a.m. I don't pick that shit.
But 4 a.m. nikafikiria it might be someone
emergency,
an emergency. Niache niliona mliongea sijui stuff fulani kwa show. Like, dude,
you see why
nani msaiko Kenya?
Do you see why people don't
msaiko
pick
Kenya
calls?
ama msaiko majuni?
So the thing is, alikuwa na this whole idea, but nilikam understand the fact that ako Kenya.
Yeah, kichwa Kenya mbaya.
Alikuwa
call me at 4.
But vile alikuwa naongea nika understand.
Okay.
But
4 a.m.
Yes, nikamwambia I understand what you're saying, but call me at 2 p.m.
So me hapo ni hiyo ni shida yako kwa sababu
unafaa
kwa D&D.
Yeah.
People should know working hours. Right?
Mimi nakuwa literally anajuaga airplane mode. Mimi kienda kulala ni airplane. If an emergency happens, you're fucked. Hata mujam saa zingine with that mentality, because even sometimes my wife is traveling. Like ataamka asubuhi anaenda airport. So atakozeza, I'm gone. Niko bye. Na mimi bado niko airplane. But then ndio na feel guilty or shit. What if something? But I'm so used to
I'm online 24/7. Mimi niko saa ngapi? Mara ngapi niko attitude. Sasa nao zake ni I want to watch something. Can you have, because sasa is very active, like 2 a.m, 3 a.m.
Oh, you're a night
owl.
4 a.m. Clock and like 5 p.m. like during siku yake imeanza. So me I got used mpaka watu wengine.
Wait, what time do you start your day?
Kuamka ni 10. Siamkagi before 10. But kulala mostly after 3 a.m.
So when I'm waking up, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
I think we've had this conversation.
Okay.
So if you work for me, you had like 3, you're going to start receiving emails at 3:30.
Oh, me say that.
But you don't have to respond to them. You just, so that at whatever time.
So na lasa ngapi? Kona mka 3?
It depends. The best time to sleep is 8-9, right? But then
how news?
Work. I try not to.
Habari.
I try not to. Do you need to watch the news to know what is going on?
You're gonna go enjoy because no one watches news now.
Nobody has time. Like, for real.
But remember, like our parents used to take that 9 p.m. slot was sacred.
It's still happening, by the way. It's still happening, and I've seen TV stations adjusting their media, their news teams because they know podcasts have taken over. So to gonna bonga juu therapy. So so I was explaining how we started the podcast. So it would be like this space where we could just link up and chat, because I was with Kerry at Homeboys. I left him. I was down at Vibes, and then Joyce Minor. I always knew that, like when I set up a podcast, I knew that Kerry has to be in, but I knew I wanted a lady. Then I remembered my good friend, Joyce.
Yeah.
So then we put us together. And from episode 1, it was just vibes, you know? So when we finished that conversation, we've had 2 hours of just nice banter, you know, I feel good, I can feel the endorphins. And we're like, yo, this is something we can share.
Yeah.
Right? So so that was the reasoning. And so you do it, but then when there's no vibes, you just abandon ship, you know. Yeah. So that's what has happened for the past 3 years. And then 2 months ago, when I decided to leave radio, I decided I want to put a lot more focus there. Now move from the 20 hours of content that I was giving in a week to now this 4 hours. So that's the preamble. Now to help you understand how we made this mistake 5 times.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was something I do on the side, I never really I would just be like, ouch. Right? And then we're like, let's hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now when we're now strategizing and putting the studio together is when I was like, I never want this to ever happen. So now we put contingency in there.
Okay.
By that time, you've interviewed my guy, you've done a dope. We've had Heavy K. We did a whole interview. It was, those deep conversations we've spoken about world music, like tumechambua, man. Hakukuwa na recording. Audio would really disappear. And we tried to get it back. We tried all those things, but so such moments were happening because we weren't really taking the production seriously. But now we are.
Yeah. Okay. Now, lakini bado haufanyi backup bado?
When we record, we do the backup as well. Yeah. So we record twice. That's the only way.
Yeah, because hii kitu inakwaga hakuna kitu stressful kama hiyo, because even like when I was looking at that interview tukibonga na Nameless, so we went back to the Isa accident and the way it affected his driving. So there are those moments I'm like, I can't capture this
that,
but ndatry tena, like I'll just call him and tell him because your show I think it was not meant to be, because first audio ikaenda, alafu ile time nini audio video haiko, alafu for the first time, because mina kwaga na principle, especially like when I was shooting on the phone, I never used to delete the show until it goes live. Sakini sasa with cards hii inakwaga like chukua so you just assume that everything is vile inafaa kuwa, and then unabaki umediscover that haujui.
And you see now, that also speaks about structure, because eventually now you have to put, and for me, because I'm grateful that I came, and the 3 of us are from background of media, and you guys can attest,
yes.
that it gives you sort of structure, even how you do your podcast, right? That you know that, okay, I need systems. This is how equipment is handled. This is how production is handled. This is how we book interviews. This is how. So everything that I was doing structurally on radio, and then now would do this as the hobby, I've now switched it. So everything that we were doing now,
I know Nefi ndo edit up. I hope anakusikia, because waga nimempatia hiyo rule, like never edit when something is on the card. Just copy it to a different device and then do your thing, but always leave the originals as originals and never delete them before you confirm. But vile nakwambia, like when you're telling him Mandafu is, I'm like, we angekuwa amewaka, because I don't know, me the first place I ever worked was Royal Media. Na niko nasikiaga nyinyi mnabonga juu ya producers. I'm like, damn, these people are lucky.
We're balling, man.
At Royal Media, you are your own producer, your own engineer, your own, unakoka kwa studio peke yako. Like kila mtu ameenda kuna uko peke yako. So unadu link yako, unaenda atafuta chai, unakaa muna load like your own ads, so you do everything, you edit sound, you do. So mimi nimezoea that level of there's no space for fucking around. Nacheki. So I feel like I'm always grateful for that, like the fact that was my first radio job where I did everything. Where ulikuwa nafanya kila kitu, like editing.
I'm so grateful that the person who set up radio was a creative. See, there's a difference between when business people set up creative spaces, and then there's a difference between creative people creating spaces for talent, right? There has to be a middle ground. And I feel like Homeboys really has that. Royal Media, please show me one radio station that's, especially unless it's the machinani ones, right? But you get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you want to treat radio like a business, right? So you're focusing on, let's not put the producer, there's a value of a producer.
Yes.
There's a huge value in having a producer, because then you're bouncing off, like, there's a way I can see a story, right? I've come into the studio and I'm like, you know what? I want to tell this story, right? And then my producer says, oh, you want to tell that? Great. I have the supporting documents for that story. I have a clip that could go so well with that story.
Yeah,
I would not have thought of that, right? Yes, I can think of that, but there's the element that the producer brings. There are things I want to do on air. Like now, 6:30, we've started the show and then something has just happened. Am I supposed to abandon this show to go and chop that thing?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right? Or do I have a able producer who's also doing a show? So I will say that when I'm on air, I'm a representative of the team. Yeah, there's a team behind me that's recording, that's listening to the best parts so that they can chop them, have them online, right? There's a digital team that knows how to. But if you take shortcuts, you just don't get what you're...
Okay. Yeah. Because me places mob work, so that was Royal Media. Also at Nation, NMG. I didn't have a producer. I was the engineer.
Se walikuwa nakupenda kweli? Ama ulikuwa...
I was the engineer. Mi nilikuwa kila kitu. Nilikuwa engineer, lawyer. So I'm so used to
ulikuwa
it.
naandika referee nani?
Yeah?
Maybe they used to call that guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
play.
But I think...
You're getting a host and a producer at the same time.
But I think also because mdosi wangu wa Nation Media alikuwa alikuwa ametoka Royal Media kuitwa Esther Masharia, shout out to Esther. So I still didn't mind it. The way I look at it is it also taught me how to do so much. Like Miki come to the media space, there's very little I can't do. I struggle with kituka color grading because that one takes nini, but editing video, audio, blah blah blah, all that I can do all that shit. And still, so kama siku za kwanza za IKONINI, because I used to do all that. I used to because ile time sasa tuli ramp up production, I had to step up and start helping in editing and doing all that. And I'd always look at it from, if I didn't get my Royal Media akina NMG background, I would not have been able to do it. So I think kila kitu kona advantage na disadvantage.
To be honest, when you're starting out, you need that. Right? You need to be in the ground. When I started my media journey, I've told you the story. I started on TV. I started as a reporter.
Yeah. Uko na cover post-election violence.
As you can see here.
Uko mama
look here. Zoom in here.
Which station?
I was at K24. We started the station.
Okay.
When it was all Kenyan.
All the time.
Right? So shout out to Eric Latif. He's the one who gave me the job. He called me for the interview and I didn't know I was being... I knew... These are things that you knew innately. Right? But you didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew I didn't want to study journalism. Not in a bad way. I respect journalism now as I've practiced journalism for... over a decade, right? And I respect the trade, but I knew I didn't want to go to school to study journalism. So because I didn't study, I had to give it my all, right? I had to get in there and be like, what do I need to understand? What are the rules of this game? What are the things a journalist should be, and what's their responsibility to their audience, to the station? And that's actually what led me to quitting my job. So when we started K24, shout out to Rose Kimoto, very visionary woman. She was fun fact, she was the first local vernacular station. Kameme. So when she decided to set up K24, I remember I sat right across her and she told me about this vision, and I remember she used to smell of cigarettes and perfume.
Okay.
She was, I knew I wanted to be her one day. I wanted to own a media house. I wanted to share a big vision that people from CNN have come to train us, right? And she's like, I'm going to have the fast 24-hour Kenyan news channel. And then there'd be nothing like that. And nobody had even tried or even imagined. Yeah, everybody else was scared, but Hash is like, listen, we're gonna make it happen, right? So what we were taught is training. Wewe ni cameraman, wewe ni editor, wewe ni reporter, wewe ni all in one, all Kenyan, all the time. So like right now, if there's a breaking news, you don't say, I need an edit, I need a videographer. Wewe ni all in one. Okay, unabeba kamera yako unakimbia. Right? Unafika huko unaweka kamera chini. Una connect na microphone. Alafu unasema, I'm here to collect vox pops. Do you know how difficult it is to collect vox pops?
It's so hard. So hard.
Kenyans will walk up to a record, like a place where there's a camera, right? You will not ask them to stop. They will stop. They will be looking like this. Then you'll be like, I want to ask you about sina maoni.
Ikonini. So kwa US mnatry kutuma do Kenya, tumia LemFi. LemFi number 1 kupatiaga the best exchange rates. Alafu on your first $100 ili unatuma, unabaki umepata $20 cashback. Alafu ukitumia the referral code Ikonini, si wenyewe pia tunapata $20. So end up umesupport Ikonini, ndio tukue na better lighting. Cheki jo, saizi si unaona, unzaniona. The last time niliduya day LemFi, ulikuwa unaniona hivi. Was I this clear? And this is because of the other people who supported vile ile promo code Ikonini ya LemFi. So baki umechangamka, ingia LemFi. Alafu saizi pia kitu poa, si lazima ubaki umeload wallet yako. Unaweza baki umeshikanisha debit card yako na LemFi. So kituma do ni instant, ikienda kule inaenda. Alafu kama kawaida pia kuna zero transfer fees, $20 cashback, una support Ikonini. Alafu pia vile musemaga jo, LemFi, international payments for everyone. Ikonini.
The motherfucker is standing.
Ama naangalia nini, Mike imeandikwa K24. Ati sijui.
Yo, I went through, you know, and I'm in the frying pan. I'm not a reporter, but like after 3 months of training, we were on the streets and we really gave it our all. And I'm so grateful because we were trained. But that training is what has, in terms of like when we're looking at doing production, when I'm doing my production, I also think as a, you know, when I'm sitting having a conversation with a producer, this is what I want. I know exactly what I want. I know the shots that I want. I know the edits that I want. I know B-rolls that I need. I don't want talking heads, right? We're shooting a documentary. I've done a couple. So yeah. So that training stayed with me forever.
Oh, okay.
I can use Final Cut Pro. We used to talk up breaking news, making me download the stuff, go and voice it, right? Chop it up, join it to the footage that you, and then give your editor to be like, nah, it's not making the cut. And you know, news is only 24 hours old. Yeah. After that, it's not news.
Yeah, damn. Okay, so you up at least that's where you cut your teeth.
Yeah. So I'm grateful. I think everybody needs a place where they, if you go through your career with just soft landing, I don't think at some point you need to challenge yourself. I was at Homeboys. I was confident. I was comfortable. Everything was growing. The company was ready to support me to be whoever the hell I wanted to be. But I knew that I needed to go and cut my teeth, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I needed to go into the jungle. And you know, when I met my former employer out there, John, he'd be like, hey, superstar. I'm like, what? He's talking to me? Yeah, so sometimes I think we get caught up in wanting to sit in the soft life and it doesn't sharpen you in any way.
Yeah. Like, I don't think without, because I've always used everything as a learning experience. So tuliendaga YFM, it failed miserably. Ikuinafaa kutumia Sheng. So vile ghetto ilianza, I took like all the ideas za YFM, the ones that I felt they rushed, nikaziweka Ghetto Radio, and they ended up working for Ghetto, you see. And then unaangalia hivo, then afterwards now, because Ghetto nilikuwa kwa management, nitoke Ghetto niende Now Nation, I'm no longer kwa management, and we had this creepy dude. I always give the story of this, like there's this once where this guy who's supposed to be a boss ends up sharing his ice cream with one of my co-hosts, and I'm there like, fuck
Why?
you. And don't do that. Alafu it's a chick. Like I'm there like, am I in the wrong place? But I need kuwa wapi. Unajua hizo kuna those subtle me too. Ingekuwa US ningesue for sex discrimination.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah,
US
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So there was that where I always say like the funny thing about me is the worst experience I've ever had in media kwangu ilikuwa Nation.
Really?
Yes. Like you expect Nation to be like pale juu.
Yeah.
But I felt like there was a lot of experimentation that walifanya, especially when they were trying to make it more profitable. You know that thing where they change everything. Because even hata I had Obina here, Obina pia liteta. Luka kiteta akisema huko ideas zilikuwa like every day there's a new idea. So you don't stick to a plan.
Yeah.
So they brought this guy who apparently is good in numbers. And this asshole just used to come up with ideas every day. Goes home, comes up with an idea. Goes home, changes this, then another change. I know radio is, as much as it's about numbers, it's also, there's the art side of radio where people have to enjoy listening to it. So there was that experience that I didn't enjoy. And this same guy, nika napenda udem and try kumkatia, but he can't come out. Alafu unajua pia you can't blame the girl because if your boss, if your boss starts doing some creepy shit, you have to, alafu Kenya hakuna Me Too movement. See ati you can be accountable. So there was that. So but I'm always grateful for learning zile za how to give something that is not even yours. Unaipatia like 10 hours of your day. Then baadaye unasema like if this thing is mine, I'm going to give it like blah 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 hours. Yeah. Because I think one thing umelani, there are no days off.
At all.
Yeah. Sindo?
Were there ice cream days kwa coffee?
Never. Okay, let's do the ask me the question again.
Were there ice cream
But before
days?
you ask me the question, I want you to look at me. Then now seriously think. Just imagine that now a guy in the office. I've already explained to you, I don't work for money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I do work for of course I want remuneration,
Yes.
but it's not the thing that's driving me. I mean, what the hell do you think? Me, I don't suffer in silence.
Yeah, I know.
I don't suffer in silence. I don't. I think I've had to be super strong because of experiences that I've had, and I realized that the moment you allow people to think of you as weak, right, they are going to try all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
Especially as a babe, right? Now, am I saying that all babes need to act strong? No, because I can also tell you that you can be so strong that it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Right? So I've done both. I've been weak, and there were consequences for that, and then I've been strong that it's now creating such a fence that this one doesn't even want to interact with guys at social stuff. So you need a balance. But I feel like in workplaces, I have had to call people aside to be like, are you comfortable with the way this person is addressing you?
Yeah.
I think you should say something, right? Because I do realize that a lot of people, even that girl, probably didn't know how to handle this. And sometimes the best way is just to appease, right? So boss anakuja hapo ana create sexual joke. I don't laugh. And then I'm going to be like, sorry, could you please repeat that? That gives you an opportunity to be like, to think about it before you repeat it.
For him to format his set.
Yeah. So, but then, so for me, I don't want to act like I'm perfect, right?
Yes.
It has come at a really great cost. So I've learned not to extra fraternize at work.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So, if you're going to have drinks at the office, don't count me in. Right? Okay. I will walk around with a cup. You will think we're drinking, but I'm not. Why? Because I don't trust what is going to come out of your mouth towards me, which we can never go back from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Kuja hapo kuanze kunikatia. Saa tena kesho ni kwa najua ule nani producer Jonte, unajua uliniangalia fani. We can't come back. Respect has been broken. Right? How are we gonna work? And the core thing we're here for, unajua job mazee, tuambiane tu kweli. Job tumekuja do a job.
Yes.
We didn't come to make friends, not in a bad way. Friends is a
Kwamboka.
tuko kwamboka mazi shile kwamboka nakonga focused so if you want to fraternize that comes as a side effect of doing our job really well. So I just want to bring respect to the table. I want to bring respect doesn't mean we're not going to have abrasive moments, right, where differences of opinion, but I don't want you to be like, this babe can talk in the way she was lit the other day. So my work persona is completely different from my out here persona. So even if I find that like one of my friends, I'm going to stop hanging out with that friend because in such lights, because I don't want my stories to get to the office. So I feel like that's one way you can protect yourself from, because I see it a lot where people, you become super cozy, man. And I'm just like, girl, or even guys, because I've also seen it for guys. I'm like, you are creating a recipe for disaster. You need to create a very strong, let people know that, my drinks, we are kujangi, right? Like, must you drink the office drinks? Especially,
look on office drinks.
We're a media house, bro.
Barely
namka 4 p.m. inasema I'm bringing drinks to the office as you're doing a show, right? So everybody's there, guys having a good time. Even office parties. I see people at office parties and I'm like, girl, you're not gonna come back from this. From Monday you'll be that girl, or from Monday you'll be that guy, because we've seen guys mwaurang at my guy.
December is full of content. This is the end of your parties.
How am I supposed to tomorrow you'll be like, Ati, you didn't meet the deadline. Baba unanuka sigara. So respect is not taken, it's earned. So I think for young people, that's some advice I'd say, that if you're in a workplace and you're feeling like, when you get there, create this is my boundaries. Create boundaries, right? That way, by the time somebody's feeling that they can, because I've never had someone atikama Kwambox, sorry.
But you understand.
I'm like, there's nothing else that's happening at that time. We have to address, why is your hand on my shoulder? Right? Like, see? The good thing is people think I'll beat you up. So unasema, unajua Kwambox using mjaribu. But also I'm not afraid to have difficult conversations.
Get out of here with that creamy stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Unaweza sema hiyo kitu bila kunidara shit.
Shit, okay.
Iko Nini.
Ina vile umesema strength kuwa strong isha ku affect, like in what way do you think, like coming out as a strong person not easy to manipulate ile kuletea shida?
I think it's a defense mechanism. Sometimes it serves you, sometimes it alienates people who could be good for you, right? And then it also creates like sort of there's only so far I can go with this babe, so then you end up sort of missing out on some moments, which but I've already made a conscious decision. I'm like, this will be the consequences of not being so fraternizing with everybody. This will be the consequences, that when you're not going to get invited to people's houses, which I can live with. I can live with that. I can go my whole life without knowing where my co-host lives. It's okay. Right? It means that, people are not going to invite you to their parties or office parties that people will just know that you don't show up. And sort of that's where people really come to, when you joke around, that's where friendships and bonds are made that could be great for the work relationship. But because I often see, especially as girls, that there's only one way that guys want to fraternize, right? That, I mean, I'm a very playful person. I love to play. Like, I want to joke around, but I know the limit. I don't want to say a sexual joke, alafu kesho kujo ni gonge matako. Apana.
You joke around, but you don't fuck around.
I want the joke to just be like, and then I'll finish by saying, hey, I'm just playing around, right? And that's as far as I want the joke to go. I don't want you to come tomorrow with a crazy sexual joke and I'm like, where the hell did this guy think I allowed this kind of stuff, right? So because I know I don't want it, I'm willing to say that I'll miss the parties, I'll miss just because. And that speaks to I'm okay I have friends. Like, I have my work and then I have friends. So I say, if there are relationships that bubble over from work, great. And that has happened naturally. Not we were at a drinking party together or just naturally. Yeah.
Okay.
And we ended up being very good friends till now.
So unafikiria hii ndio ulifanyaga kuna time najua sasa si wale tuko tunakujua kunasikia tu kapao hata pendi maboy napenda mtu madem.
Hey, wacha.
You ilitoka from you because unajua as a girl if
Iko Nini.
ukiseti boundaries that's bound to come up.
Okay. So I'll clear this up. This is probably going to be a soundbite for the blogs, right?
Take it away.
Right? So
if I blow your strength, then I was like, I remember there was that.
I think this is a Gen Z thing. Maybe Gen Z are the ones who probably don't know me. You know, I say this. I'm in my third phase of fans.
Yeah.
Right. So, when I was in K24, that was 2007.
Yeah.
Right. I was in Big Brother 2010. I started Homeboys 2016. So there are people who started following me for Kapao. There are people who started following me when I was at Big Brother. So the OGs know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the most publicized things when I was in Big Brother, which was my sexuality. And I was very clear. I'm fluid. It's never been a secret. I think there's many times I talked about this. But I feel like of late, people try to use it against me. And if I'm being honest, that's none of my business. Right? Okay. So it's something that I spoke about. I was very clear that I am who I am.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That was in 2010.
Yeah.
You
No,
no,
it was 2008 actually. So my first Big Brother was 2008. So because I don't live for anyone. Mi nashinda nimejiongelesha kwa nyumba. Unafikiri kuna mtu anasema Kwambox, I didn't like what you. Okay, that's your business. Right? I'm very true with who I am. So what I like is what I like.
Okay, alafu unajua ni poa,
but here's the thing. My past, I think 4 relationships have been guys. So so I think people think that, it's a nice balance. It's a nice balance.
Alafu it's things a girl can say, but a dude can't say. I'm fluid.
Yeah.
So I'm fluid, I go, what is this?
But you know what I think it is? I think, am I, like, with the backlash, I mean, I get this all the time. Like, so why I find it ridiculous. Why I never talk about it is because, for example, like when I was joining KISS, right? I've explained to you what was happening on my side of things, right?
Yes.
What was happening on the other side of things. Kibe just decided to attack me, right? Oh, Sijui, this babe has been sent here to bring Sijui the lesbian agenda. I'm like, first, Kibe, I don't even know you. Like, hatujuani. Were you watching me when I was in Big Brother? You're a fan? What's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? I've never, with my mouth, I've never even watched your content. People were now tagging me and saying, oh, there's a guy, blah, blah, blah. This is what he's talking about. And I'm like, this is very uncalled for, considering Kibe wanted me to be on a podcast with him. Okay. Right? When I was at Vibes Radio. And I just
as a guest,
no, just he thought we'd be a great fit. But I just think that our values are so different. Right? I think, and which is not a bad thing. It's not the reason why I said no. I just feel like I wasn't keen to do the podcast with him, but I not to say that I don't engage with people who have different opinions. Yeah. I love having conversations with people who have different opinions, because conversations are not meant for me to tell you what I think and to change your mind, but it's supposed to be an exchange of ideas. So I just felt like it was very uncalled for. So at that point, I was like, should I address? Because now all the time people would just be attacking me, and I'm like, sauna sema nini? Yeah, you. So it ended up being something used to shame me, and I'm like, I'm not going to address this until I want to address it at my own time, which I didn't feel like I needed to address because I'd already spoken about it. And
alafu kitu funny na Big Brother, because now vile umebonga jeyo amenionyesha, like I was having this conversation with a South African on like wakiangalia their society as nini. in SA they don't look at people as gay and straight. They look at it from an energy point of view. So ati kuna watu wanasemaga like this man has feminine energy, and it's an African country. You expect African countries to all be reasoning the same. So inafanyaga you start looking at life in very interesting ways, because we always assume that in Africa this never happens. In Africa this never happens. Then unacheki huko namba like in SA this happens. This what like, okay, damn, this is different. Yeah.
So I think in the age of information, I struggle to ask myself, because I grew up being told that the world is perishing because of lack of information.
Yes.
Right? Now we have information, the world is still perishing. Why? Because I feel like also what to do with the information. So like the reason why us as Africans are now slowly just opening our eyes to what it means to be an African. I was raised SDA.
Hatuko surprised Mkisi.
I was raised SDA. My grandfather was a pastor of the church. Mr. Otori, rest in peace. And a missionary, right? So I was SDA because that's all I did.
Yeah.
Right? When I got to my 17, 18, I got baptized in the Pentecostal church, right? And that was because I was seeking God. I'd been in a church for 17 years and I had never met God. In fact, my idea of God was just witchcraft, and it was. I've spoken about this on an episode on Boxpod, our latest episode with Tony Ndungu, about how I went to this boarding school when I was in class 5 and class 6 in Kisii, and it changed my perspective on, and I was 9, on human beings, right? So by the time you're getting to a place where Africans we're seeing ourselves. I wish I had this information when I was growing up. I wish I knew that I mattered. I wish I knew that God wasn't just trying to smite me with lightning for speaking in mother tongue. I wish I knew that, or speaking in Swahili. I wish I knew that I was I'm something. The schools were trying to beat the shit out of you. They were trying to remove the identity out of you. And they were inculcating in you a slavery and colonialist perspective. I think of every time I was beaten because I spoke Swahili. I said ati, and I was given a disc.
Yeah, I can remember that bullshit.
Montos,
Monto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we never really address how these were British colonialist remnants that were left here, and they ended up becoming the identity. So if you ask an average person, who are you?
Yes.
Right? I promise you, their identity is very far removed from maybe an ancestor that was just 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Or be like, young Thiongo, born again.
Yeah.
Right?
So you identify yourself with, with faith,
Yeah.
rather than, your tribe or all the cultures that you represent.
But then even the cultures, I was having a conversation with my family and I was like, who are our descendants 150 years ago? What was our family doing? And guys are like, doo-doo-doo. Okay, we know we emigrated from Ethiopia, but that's just about it. And even that, it was because one of our was like, great. There was a famine happening and there was some wars somewhere in Ethiopia and guys had to move. And I'm like, wait, what? This whole time guys have been telling us to look Rwandese. You mean we actually,
Yeah.
So we don't know much. So if I sit here and tell you this is the truth, according to who?
Yeah.
Yeah, according to who? So at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that, there are Kenyans or Africans who sit and say, like when I was growing up, putting on trousers for girls is un-African.
Yeah. Long. Kwa kijana ni long.
Yeah.
Yeah, unaongeza
Trousers are for boys. Yeah. Men should not wear dresses. And I was looking at pictures of the colonialist or images when they were arriving in Africa in their stockings and their tutus and high heels coming off the boat. And I'm like, that's what you guys would have looked like. But then I'm thinking about the Africans who are wearing skirts. Just to cover the
less
modules. So that it's not dungwad by a bee, right? Not stung by a bee, just protection, you know? But this
a
is
thong.
when,
Actually, we used to rock a thong.
An African will tell you, no, our African print. This shit is not even our print.
Yeah.
The fabric is not even ours. Masai shuka. Maze shuka, hiyo si shuka yao. You get what I'm saying? So what is the African identity? What is your identity? You get? So I feel like a lot of us, when we say that's not African, we don't even know what African means, right? And thank God for technology right now and the internet. We're able now to come back and now start telling those stories so that we can really uneducate ourselves from all this nonsense, which has kept us subservient in very, very many aspects. Like even when you're looking at our leadership and the conversations that are being had, like the other day, we signed on to vote on LGBTQ rights, right? And you look at the national conversation at the time, including the presidency that was saying, no, right? And then taking this, it's like, and a lot of people asking, how did this happen? Subserviency. Because you can't make a stand this is who we are if you don't know who you are.
Yeah. Okay. Because you remind, there's a joke I made on ile siku sasa tunashuti podcast. And the joke, I don't know what I was talking about. And then I brought up religion. I was talking about how Kenyan politicians talk. So Ruto will be like, wapige risasi kwa miguu. And then akishamaliza anasema, Mungu awabariki.
Na Mungu awabariki.
Mungu awabariki. So I was talking about how, look at the extreme. Like, we are just from talking about violence. Ile violence extreme kabisa. Alafu mwingine pia anaitwa Nelson Koech akibonga. Alikuwa hivyo apige as a matter of fact.
Si mguu.
Usishoot mguu. Shoot to kill. Leo akishamaliza Mungu awabariki. Then the process, I don't know what happened. Alafu nikabaki nimejoke. Alafu nikabonga juu ya the Luo God. Then I asked the question and sija go through comments, but I'm sure that someone got offended. I was like, you know what? The Luo God must be having a foreskin. Because otherwise, what would that mean for the Luo God?
Yeah.
Alafu nikamake you a joke because as mjaka, this is something that I've had to go through. Nachikivile sasa nyinyi ulikuwa naenjoyiwa juu ya like sexuality or something. As a Luo, meet any Luo dude, they'll tell you like on a random day, ile time wamekosana na mtu, even someone you respect, they bring that up. So inakuwaga the only way to get the power away from this is to own it.
Yeah.
So you have like, for example, black Americans ni nigger, sindio? So mi nakuwaga like the guy who will make foreskin jokes so that ukitaka kujua. So nikuwa zile za, hey, what if the Luo God?
It's called
Maybe you gonna
Nyasa.
Ni Obongo Nyakalaga. Sasa kuna hiyo ngoma. There was that song that was really dope. I think ilikuwa
Obongo Nyakalaga.
Yeah, Obongo Nyakalaga.
Bongo Nyakalaga.
Yes, so the original song ilikuwa ni boy anaitwa Vioxy na boy anaitwa Japesa. But sasa what's his name? Calligraph didn't know. So Japesa ule alikuwa featured, akaenda ka feature Calligraph kwa remix. So there's that song inaitwa Bongo Nyakalaga. It's dope. Some Luo song. Yeah. So that's the Luo God. But sasa, of course, will come to Kamwa, this is not your God. This other person is your. Alafu everything about this Obongo guy became wrong. Nacheki. And that's now the African problem where Musemaga, I feel, how do you feel every time you see that white image of Christ kwa matri? Like unaenda pahali, uko nyuma matri and then you see in Jesus we trust and then it's a white person. You know that white image where inasema kangani?
Yeah.
Michelangelo.
No, there's many different. There's that American actor who's one of the most popular. Jesus is. Okay, I have to premise by saying I do understand why human beings need. And the word I'm using is need.
Yes.
Need religion. Not even God, religion.
Yes.
Because if it was God, spirituality would be the key. And we would be able to see the results of spirituality. Yeah. You have to be accountable. You have to be. Not this one, Nati. You guys know I'm not spiritual. No, not that one. I'm talking about spirituality is an everyday practice there's no pastor who's coming to tell you you're forgiven. There's nobody giving you can shortcut this, that. There's nobody telling you it's okay, it will be better. You have to hold yourself accountable, right? And also with the thing about spirituality is that there might not be an anchor, but a lot of people who practice spirituality base it off of a religion that they were raised on. But spiritual people who have never, there are people, have you ever met someone who's never been raised in any religion?
Oh, okay.
Never met God?
But foreigners.
I literally had to ask, like, so when, like, like when things hit the fan, because that's when you remember God the most. Religion, God. Religion, God. Problems. Because every time you're in church, it was, penance, punishment. And they just say, excuse me, sir, with all this fucking poverty, there is another punishment? I'm about to try the Hindi God, bro. I want to see the deals. Let me see all the deals first on the table. Hizi church zote, ni gani kona deal ina make sense, right? But I do understand the importance of religion. Because being spiritual and not having an anchor is every day, it could lead to madness.
Yes.
Because when you have things going on, you can say, I trust him, and you can put a face and a name to it. Having an imaginary space makes you feel more alone.
Yes.
Right? So to be spiritual requires a level of strength and accountability that we've just spoken about structure, that a lot of people are like. And that's why the question that people keep asking, how are there more churches in slums than hospitals? You really think when I'm going through problems, I need a solution. I need a promise.
Oh, okay. And hope.
Of a better day.
I don't need a solution. Because if I needed a solution, after 1 year of your promises, I'd start holding you accountable.
Yes.
But it's very well structured. You shouldn't ask questions, belief, right? And so it's a willing buyer, willing seller situation, right? Because you can feel it in your gut, in your bones, that you're being misguided. But sometimes you're so deep in it, right? I just watched a clip from, there's a story in Nigeria of a father who, his pastor prophesied and told him his kids are witches. Yeah. Prophesied, Sunday, your kids are witches. It's because of the mother. And the mother had left and she had left him with the 4 kids. And that's the reason why. He went home, he gave them poison. These are not babies, teenagers. Right? So like 10. And so you see, and and when you watch the guy talking, you'd be like, how do you? But then you see his conviction. You can see his inside the cult. Right? So I do understand that there's need for that. That's the premise.
Yes.
Right? But then the more information that I get, and that's why, again, I was talking about the more information, the more we are even getting more confused, is because the more evidence, the more you are able to open your eyes and say, this doesn't make any sense, guys, right? But for a lot of people, the more evidence, the more conviction. The more evidence, when a pastor has been busted, a big mega, those mega church pastors, right? They're busted doing inappropriate things. What's the first thing they do? They go tell their congregation that the devil is attacking us.
Yes.
Right? And what did the church do? They rally behind this person. They literally rally behind this person. And they know very well, huyu ni rapist, huyu alibai, alifanya. But then atenda kwa hiyo atumie yaseme, God uses broken people.
Yes.
It's a willing buyer, willing selling situation. And you ask why? Because people are not looking for solutions. Because if we live in a world where ati nasikianja, okay, sawa, utafanya hivi, kila asubuhi ukiamka, sawa, unaenda kwa hii place, una hustle, unaenda hii, unafanya hii. After like 6 months, utaanza kuona ki-benefit. Unafikiri mtu anataka kusikia hiyo? Mtu anataka nini? Anataka useme, maze, haujakula. Fuck, man. Cheki. Sina mingi lakini atakuchukua hii pesa.
Yeah.
Sawa. Maze umenisaidia. Next year. you're still at the same position, asking for the same. Because the idea of having to hustle for the thing, I just don't feel like doing that. I don't want to work for it. I want to get it, right? So I feel like that's why people allow this. So do I laugh or does it irritate me when I see people practicing all sorts?
Yeah.
There's all sorts. I don't. Because I know how life is difficult. The alternative is that you stay as a balloon just floating, and you being your own anchor saying, I cannot hurt people. I cannot take, when I give someone a loan, someone asks me for money, I say with interest. Fuck that, I can't do that. My policies are this. When it comes to interaction with women, this is what I do. Interaction with men. When I deal with people, it's very difficult to hold yourself accountable. So it's better where someone has come up with God amesema usifanye hii. Amesema ufanye hii. Amesema utembe hivi. Uraise watoi wako hivi. So you have a mwa Kenya is easier because the alternative could
Okay. Na nini vile umesema hivyo mfanya hata kuuliza have you been seeing the meme that ever since ule mtu ashakahola aseme kitawaramba kimekuwa kikituramba
chalimaze mtu aende tu amwambie pole.
No. Like it's been downhill. Mackenzie
yes.
Lakini
kitaturamba
hapana. Unajua nini? Sawa, acha mimi hata ni prophesy basi. Sawa. Kitawaramba.
Prophetess.
Wacha nikwambie. Every single time I've been told about a prophecy, right? Or sijui do I believe that there are people who have other powers that can't be explained? 100%. Do I believe in the powers of darkness? 100%.
Okay.
I come from Kisii. Okay? I've seen night runners. Guys, there are things that we cannot be able to explain. But what I think it is, right? The older I grow and the more I read, I think that life is spiritual, but not in if you look at religious texts, you will think of it in a, there's this horned thing from the other side, yada, yada, yada. But I think there are things that, let's use science. The other day, scientists were saying that, you see these eyeballs of ours? There's only so much in terms of light spectrum we can see that's visible to us, which means there are things or organisms, beings that we do not even know exist that could be in this room. That we don't see. Dogs can hear things that we can't hear, right? So we are, in terms of a species, we are kind of limited. We're not at the apex in terms of doing things here, right? We just have a bit of an intelligence, but we're about to be superseded. So if you put those things together, I think that it is possible. I've seen guys bend spoons with their minds. Kinetic energy, right? That I've seen scientists show that you can be able to move energy, and they've proven it scientifically from mind telekinesis, right? But on a site for baby class in terms of watching movies, right? But like baby class, but these I think in terms of an intelligence, there's a lot we don't know. So much. So with that said, I think there are people who know, and portals, there are spaces on this earth that make these things happen. There are spaces where things, I don't know, it's electromagnetic, things just come together. Because in every religion, they speak about a specific place where things happen, right? So Jesus had to go somewhere to speak to God, right? Every single religion, they talk about places, people, and things. So I do believe that there are people who can do stuff, right? Now, with that said, if you know that there are people who can believe this thing without being questioned, it creates room for lots of merchants. And I think there's more merchants than actual people who can do this, do this power. Now, I always joke that, why don't this pastor just go to the hospitality and just do na kila mtu
amehil watu.
Mbona asifanye hivyo, akuje tu aseme mazi economy ya Kenya ashikilie tu banki yetu multiply.
Pale central.
Maze! Hata sini aguze tu lami hivi. Heal. Wacha kuheal watu. Heal barabara. Less money. Fanya wa Chinese to invite president wa China hapa akuje tu, yani aguzwe roho aseme debt forgiven. Do impact us. But the reason is, I think these powers are not used until it has to be, the other person has to participate. I think it's an energy, right? So somebody has to participate to make the chain happen. I don't know. I'm not making sense, I know. But I think that there are things, and that's why a pastor says, and even Jesus said, your faith has healed you. So you have to participate in making this transfer happen. I've got the power, you've got the problem. So I feel like, yeah. And I feel like in year 3025, there'll be people, if they will be, or just the AI now doing their own podcasts. And humans listening. And they'll be talking about this. They say, yo, you know, humans used to think that, like, it was just this, man. I don't know, yo.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, Christians, I know that Jesus is coming soon.
I always joke because me no jana kwa atheist, so hakuna nini ama yeah, but I always joke so I give
I always wonder how they do it.
I always nini umusamaga mujua nini so kuna like Prophet Lovi, so I ended up getting like his attention, but at least hakuni threaten because majuzi amethreaten Joe Mshiri. Like alimwambia keep the same energy when we meet because Joe Mshiri alichoka kamuliza, you heal all these people but you couldn't heal your brother.
Damn. That was deep.
But that's personal, bro.
But still, juka unaweza hilo watu, unawezi heal bro wako. Unaelewa? Okay, najua mtasema mganga ajigangi, lakini still there's a point to be made for that. So he was like keep the same energy. But because I always joke about prophets, because even Nani was here, and it was Waroinge, Ndura Waroinge, the former Mungiki guy, and he predicted that Ruto was going to resign in June, by end of June.
Yes.
Sindio?
Did you say which year?
Hii mwaka. Yeah. So mimi...
you're supposed to give him a call.
I have a Christian name. Hii Christian name nili keep secret. Mwambia guy to like podcast are so good.
Let me guess.
You're not ready for this.